Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today I am welcoming my beautiful friend Jo, and she's going to be telling us all about how she went from being a full-time graphic designer to living through COVID and then coming out the other side, a fully professional healer working with a healing technique called Access Bars. So get the headphones on, the cup of tea ready, and let's go. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to our podcast, The Purple People. And we have got a really, really fabulous guest today. But before we allow her to start talking, I've just got to tell you what's going on in this little house in England right now. The lovely Jo is sat in Tenerife, where it's always sunny, it's always warm and lovely. And here, I actually feel like spring has sprung today. Just to set the scene, the sun is pouring through the window on my face. I've got all my gorgeous crystals outside that I've had charging in the pink moon last night. And I've actually sat in shorts and t-shirts. Yay!
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Sunshine! You've brought the sunshine, Jo.
Excellent. Well, I am also sat in shorts and t-shirts, especially for you as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I met Jo many years ago when I lived in Tenerife. And when we first met, Jo actually worked full-time, 9 to 5, at a radio station on the advertisement part. You worked for the newspaper,
worked for the newspaper, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what Jo was doing. And that's all she did while I knew her. And then over the course of lockdown, Jo's life changed. It just went from one to the other. And I thought, we have to get her on the podcast today to talk about it, because I think the shift in you and the change from what you did to what you're doing now is just, it's huge.
It's very, very different, isn't it? Very, very different.
It is indeed. And it's something that I didn't know anything about until I saw you started putting these little posts up on Facebook. And I was like, oh, what's Access Bars? What's all this? And I don't know, do you want to tell everybody what Access Bars involves, what it's all about?
Yeah, I can do. So basically, Access Bars are with acupressure points on your head, or the meridian points on your head. And what we do is we just lightly touch them, and we go through the process. It's about an hour, it can be up to an hour and a half, depending on what your session that you have. And it basically can completely change your life. So it can release any kind of negative feelings, any negative thoughts that you have. And it's a pretty amazing kind of treatment that I've managed to come across.
It sounds amazing, Jo. And I think it was Becky, actually, that I spoke to, one of our mutual friends. And she said, I went to Tenerife last week and I had a session with Jo. And oh my gosh, it's really amazing. And I need to come and see you. I need to have it done myself.
Definitely. It's right up your street. Definitely. It's one of those things that you just kind of fall into. I'd never heard of it either, if I'm honest. And like you said, things changed a lot during COVID, and trying to keep myself not being bored for a long time because I wasn't working.
Yeah.
And things come across, things sort of turn up, don't they? And sometimes things turn up for a reason. So
I've
actually found it on Facebook, funnily enough. So it's one of the things that came up on Facebook, and it was a lady from Poland that came over to Tenerife, and she was advertising. She's a facilitator, so she can teach other people to become a practitioner, which is what I am. And she was lovely. Met her for a couple of days, and we went through this course. And at the time, it was quite a difficult kind of part of my life, I suppose you could say. And it really did change my life. And which is why I'm so kind of excited that I can pass it on to other people, because it's such an amazing thing, because I know how I felt and how things changed for me. So it's why I would like to sort of pass it on to other people and be able to, for them to see how amazing it is. Really is.
I feel exactly the same about Reiki. I was in a space where I wasn't feeling my best. I was going through a bit of a hard time. And again, it just came to me. I didn't go searching for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had my first session and I just went, oh my days. I had tears streaming down my face. I was like releasing all this stuff. And I was just like, what is this magic? And I just felt like this wave of peace just kind of come over my body. It was just
definitely. It's sometimes, like you say, everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? And I do think that it kind of found me at a good time or a bad time, depending on which way you look at it. But it was definitely something that completely amazed me. I didn't expect to kind of feel how I felt after I had it done.
So how did you feel? I mean, if is it somebody releasing sort of different pressures from, like you say, the meridian points on the head? How did that make the rest of you feel if it's solely based on working on the head and the skull?
Well, what we do to start with, we open up all the energy fields. So it's to start with, we start on the head, and then we go down to your feet and then to your hands.
Okay.
So we open up everything so that all the energy is flowing around the body. And then the rest of it is all done on the head. So each point is kind of means a different thing or goes towards a different thing. So the first time I had it done, I just slept the whole way through it. I didn't literally woke up and felt like I'd had the best sleep, because probably hadn't slept very well. It was 2021. So kind of not after COVID, after the worst kind of points of COVID, trying to start again with things and going through different things like that. So it was, I felt like I had the best sleep ever. And then I had it done again, and it just felt like a different person. I felt like a weight had been lifted. And this is a really big thing in Access Bars. We talk about things being lighter and things being heavy. Pain, it could be a pain, it could be a feeling of things being heavy. And we want these things to feel lighter. And that's exactly how I felt. I walked out of there and just felt lighter. Felt like I could actually, these things that were on my shoulders, I could handle. And the things that were on my shoulders weren't like dragging me down anymore, but they were actually, okay, I can hold myself up now, and I can actually be able to maybe cope a little bit better today. So it was really, really, really amazing. So then obviously went on to become a practitioner. So this lady that I spoke with, Natasha from Poland, so she was here and we went through it together. The experience was amazing to just be able to, and I've never done it like you said, I've always had a 9-to-5 job. I was a graphic designer for 20 years, have always worked on a computer, never really done anything different. So this was something that I really felt that I could pass on to people. I really thought that it was that amazing that I wanted other people to be able to enjoy it as well. So, to start with, I didn't know whether it was going to be a business. I didn't know. But eventually it's kind of, with other things, has managed to, be something, which is really good.
But that's a huge shift though, isn't it? I mean, how do you think that helped you make the jump from, right, I'm in this 9-to-5 job, and then COVID hitting and kind of, what we're going to do, is things going back to normal? Are we going to go this way? Are we going to go that way? To then going from something that's relatively, in quotes with the fingers, normal job to, I'm going to pass on this amazing thing, and because you've become basically a healer.
Kind of,
Well, you are, because you're out in everything that you're doing, because Jo has this company called Cognitive Souls, and she does Access Bars, but you teach English as well to many different people. And she's a fantastic artist, by the way. We'll put the links to her Facebook page in the website. Go and have a look, because I've got a piece of your work in my shop. And
you have.
But you're also bringing together craft fairs. You're bringing together people online to get through the loneliness that was COVID, and you're
I
out
think,
there just helping people now.
yeah, I think it was actually a big help for me to start with, because I think let's go back a bit. Obviously, through COVID, my job that I worked at was closed because
Yeah,
we live in a tourist island, so there was no need for the job at the time. And it was actually, in the end, I was off work for 2 years, but I didn't know that that was going to happen. If I'd have known that I had 2 years off to start a new business, obviously probably would have done a bit more maybe, but at the
yeah,
time it was kind of 2 weeks here, then another 2 weeks, then another
yeah.
month, and then 3 months. So we didn't know, the same as everyone else didn't know. And it was just one of those things that after a while, the kids had gone back to school, my husband had gone back to work, so we actually had a business at the time, and he'd gone back to work, and I was in the house on my own trying to find things to do. So actually at the time it was probably therapy for me, because I was, we all know, don't we, after COVID it was, oh, we've done the painting, we've done the
Yeah,
garden, we've put
yeah.
on all the weight that we wanted to, we now want to lose it all, and all stuff like that. So what do I do next? So yeah, definitely. And I think, now looking on it probably a year on, yeah, it's changed quite a lot. But I feel that everything that I do, like you say, with these, I do a lot of craft workshops. I started doing painting in more in COVID, during lockdown, and it just kind of made me realize how much better it made me feel to do
Mm,
things like this. And actually with the teaching, there's a lot of therapy that goes on with the teaching as well, because some of the people that I speak to, I don't teach English, I teach English as a foreign language. So living in Spain obviously is a great opportunity for
yeah,
that, because there's lots of foreigners here. But I also teach online, so I've taught people from Japan, China, Russia, Brazil, all the way around the world, really,
wow.
and as close to as Spain as well. So it's really nice to kind of actually just get online with somebody, and sometimes someone just wants to talk to you and just kind of
Mm,
say, you know what, I can't talk to my family about this, but I just want to talk to someone neutral. And it kind of made me realize that actually being this tutor, this, and speaking English to someone was a really big help to some people. So it kind of took that route of, I did a lot of courses in therapy courses during the time that I was off. And really it took me to Access Bars. That was the last thing that I think that I did.
that was your last piece
Um,
of the puzzle.
yeah, yes. So it all kind of came together. So, it was strange, but yeah, exciting in a way. I didn't really know whether anything was going to happen out of it, and right until the last minute when I had to make a decision of going back to work or not,
Yeah,
and basically decided,
not
if I
to.
don't try it now, when am I going to have the best opportunity to do this? I've given myself 2 years
Yeah.
of my life, and I need to carry on with what I've learned and what I've trained to do.
And look at you now, though. What a
Yeah,
difference. What a
yeah.
difference. Do you feel like, because I say this to my people all the time, it's like we have always a choice. You can carry on in the fated life, or you can carry on to your destined life. And what I mean by that is, if you're rolling in the fated life, it's like the things that we've fallen into. Like
Hmm.
that job you're going to take, but just for a year while we sort something else out. And then 5, 10 years later, you're still there.
Yeah,
Or, the things, the patterns that you fall into that then become habits, but it's not really what you wanted to do. And then you've got
definitely.
your destined life, which is what
Yeah,
I did in COVID. I was like,
yeah.
right, okay, I'm going to open my business. I'm going to become a full-time healer. I'm going to stick the shop on. I'm going to put events on. And that was just in this little wish jar inside of
Hmm.
me that I'd never done. That I thought, well, if it's a wish and I want it to happen, I either have to stop what I'm doing and go in 100%,
Hmm.
or it's never going to happen. And that's what
Yeah.
you've done. You've just chucked yourself all in, and it's just working. It's brilliant.
But I think that's what's one of the really good things about COVID. Obviously there was lots of really terrible things about COVID, but I really do take out of it that I wouldn't have had that time
Mm,
to train to find these things, to find something that I really enjoyed. You know what it's like, we're both parents as well. You know, you get to a stage where obviously my work where I worked at before, I was there for 17 years. I was there before I had my kids, and took me all the way through having my children. And that was always my life. You know, I enjoyed being a graphic designer. I never had an issue with it. You know, I didn't want to leave or desperately leave. You know, your kids take up a lot of time, your job takes up a lot of time. Then there's the usual kind of day-to-day things that we all have to do. So until I had that actual time to, you know, sit back and go, oh, that's interesting, I'll look into that. And then that takes you somewhere else. That's interesting, I'll look into that. And, you know, all of these online courses that we can do now is really amazing. So I'm really grateful for that time, really. And it's amazing to, of course, it's amazing to see now what it's come to. It's really, really nice to see.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I really am. You're just doing an amazing job, and the fact that you live in your truth, Jo.
Yeah, I think it takes a bit of time, doesn't it, to realise kind of what, and obviously, like I said, we all kind of mums, so you turn just into mum of Isabel and Leo. You're not actually a person anymore, are you?
I hear that. Yeah. Who am I outside there? Is the dinner ready? Where's my school uniform?
Exactly.
Have you made my lunchbox?
Yeah, and it's all about going to football, or it's all about going somewhere else and being a taxi, and which is great. You know, obviously, I love my kids to pieces, of course I do. But it's very difficult to kind of have that difference between being you and being a mum. And sometimes, and really that gave me the time as well, because like I say, my children were at school, so we had very different to you guys in the UK, because once we got to, I think it was the September of 2020, our children went back to school, and they stayed. They never were kind of backwards and forwards, I think, like your guys. Your kids were.
It changed every week here.
Yeah, exactly. So we were quite lucky in that way, which gave me all that time to myself. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Amazing. So take me back to the Access Bars then. I mean, because it's something that still I don't really know a huge amount about, but how would you say that was different from a Reiki session?
Okay, so when you have Reiki, what you do, you deliver the energy into the body. Okay, so your energy that you have, or you decide to pass on to that person, and you give them that energy. Whereas with Access Bars, we remove anything. With Access Bars, it removes the blocked energies. So everything, that's why we unlock all the energy flow. And then what happens is every time I touch a certain point or something, people sometimes can actually physically feel it releasing out of their hands or out of their feet.
Okay.
And then it just releases from their body. It's not there anymore. So
amazing.
It really is. Yeah.
So what reactions have people had while they've been having a session with you?
So I've had some quite unusual things. So obviously, being quite new to this, I suppose, over the past year or so, people say when you have an Access Bars session, it's quite normal if you want to speak all the way through it, which I think is quite unusual for a treatment. Normally you would go and have a very relaxing session. Everything's very quiet, everything's very kind of calm and things like, which this can be as well. But if you wanted to come round, for instance, this afternoon, and we could do it downstairs, kids are running around, we can have a conversation, the TV can be on, because you need that. It's not the point of actually something distracting you, something. I'm physically releasing that from your body by touching you. So it doesn't matter if you're relaxed. It just depends. And sometimes it's better to be distracted, because then you're not thinking about those things that are coming through. Sometimes we relax and we start to think, oh, that feels weird, or don't like that, or I've got the washing to do, or I've got to pick the kids up at 3:00. I hope I'm back in enough time. But so in that case, but I do try and do it as a calm thing. So this is what I always say to my clients when they come round, is always very much like, feel free to talk to me. If you feel something, if you feel anything unusual, anything strange, feel free to talk to me, because it gives me an idea then of where I'm touching and what it kind of relates to. And also I don't want to feel like I'm just talking all the time, because there's nothing worse than going to a treatment and actually someone's talking to you and you just want to switch off for that hour. So it can be very, very different. So I've had some, like I said, some clients have come around, they've just slept the whole time, and they've woken up and they've just gone, oh my goodness, I feel lighter. Is always an excellent example of how they feel. And we always say with Access Bars, the worst case scenario for you is that you can come out and feel like you've had a good massage, which is great.
Oh yeah.
But some of the things, I mean, some people come around with said that, you know, really suffer from anxiety. Some people have left feeling empty, as they've said to me, I have no thoughts, which, for, as you probably know, somebody with anxiety, this is an amazing kind of thing to hear.
Yeah.
This particular lady said to me, and I spoke with her the next day as well, and she just said, I just feel like there's nothing there, which is brilliant, isn't it? Because I know when you're anxious, you're constantly
Your
always
mind
got these thoughts
races,
in your
doesn't
mind
it?
all the time. Yeah, definitely. But one of the strangest things I've had was, and I'm sure this lady won't mind me saying, she was very quiet, very, very quiet all the time. And then all of a sudden, she just said, I had a car accident 30 years ago. Just like, oh, okay. And she said, she went into it. Obviously, it scared me, because everything was quite quiet. I was in the zone and everything like that. And she just said, I had a car accident. I thought, okay. And she said, at the moment, she said, when the car rolled and she's had this problem with her right hand side of her body, she had to have an operation between the shoulder and the elbow on her right hand side. And she basically wakes up every day with this pain of this arm. But generally, the right hand side of her body is always feeling painful. So she woke up, she said to me, she had this accident, and she said at the time, her right hand side of her body was feeling like pins and needles. Everything was feeling pins and needles. Some of it was kind of going numb. And then she said to me, like I said to you before, she could physically feel the kind of pain moving down towards her fingers and then coming out. And she said to me, obviously carried on talking about it, because if they want to talk, then I'll let them talk. And she was telling me all about this accident, that what had happened, and obviously it was such a long time ago, etc., etc. And when she finished, obviously we were talking about something else, and then she messaged me the next day before I'd had a chance to message her. And she just said to me, I just want to let you know that this morning was the first time that I woke up without thinking about the pain in my arm.
Wow.
And I just thought, amazing. You know, for me to hear these things is just amazing. It really is amazing. And you know, for me, one of the things that I get asked all the time is like, how long does it last? So for this lady, particularly this one, she was asking me, how long does it last? And I said, it's entirely up to you, because you control when you let that pain back in. So if you start to feel whatever it is that you start to feel angry about, or maybe annoyed about, and then that we all know, don't we, that we control our pain in our body. And I said, it's entirely up to you. If you can control it and you never feel that pain again, you don't only have to have one session, and that's it. Whereas some people can feel the issues coming back in, you know, if it was the anxiety or the depression or whatever it was, the stress, the pain, physical pain, then that's when you know that you have to start coming back and having another session. So it's really personal preference. It's down to you whether you can then, and I feel that, because I know when I had it done that I still feel that, not that I don't need it done again, that's because obviously I benefit from doing it. So when I do it, I benefit from it. So I have obviously had it done quite a few times from doing it to other people. But I definitely felt like, if I can keep this positiveness in my body, then I know that I'll be fine, we'll be fine, and we don't need to go again, which is a great thing, isn't it? It's not a marketing ploy. It's not
No.
you need to come every month and anything
I say
like
that to my people. As soon as they've finished a session, whether it be crystal healing or Reiki or the sound therapy, the first thing they say is, when do I need to come back?
Yeah.
And they all kind of look at me with a puzzled look when I say, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And they say, what do you mean? I say, you'll feel it if you go 6 months and I don't see you, or you might want to come every 2 weeks, or you might want to come every week, or I might see you once a year. I said, it is totally up to you, and you feel it within yourself. So however long this feeling or this release lasts, roll with it, go with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, well, you're not going to make me sign me up now before I leave. I said, no, you come to me. And they're all really baffled by that.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because we're so used to hearing, you need this once a month, or you need this every couple of weeks, from not just, from the majority of things, because it's all, money orientated, isn't it?
Yeah.
But this is why, for me, it's amazing to hear the people's reactions afterwards, because I do think that, it's a confidence thing for me, because I'm really not very confident at all, and it helps me to realize that actually I can do it, and actually this is something that I'm quite good at, and it was the right decision to do. So yeah, it's made it, definitely. You would love it. You would love it. Get on that plane now.
Oh, do you know, Joe, you've just took the thoughts right out of my brain. I was just sat there thinking, how much is a ticket? Can I go? I've got bikini and flip-flops waiting. We haven't been on a holiday since 2018, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, same. We were 2019, I think. So we said this year we definitely need a proper holiday, which you well know that when you live in Tenerife, you don't have a proper holiday.
You don't.
Just go to see family, or you go to England. So
That's
I
it.
said, yeah,
somewhere,
definitely.
Destination unknown, let's go.
Definitely.
Oh, well, do you know what, Joe? And I don't mean this in a condescending way at all, but I feel so proud of you, because you're just like, you're stepping into your power and you're owning it. And it's like you just said, I'm not confident, but then when I hear the stories and the feedback, it's like, whoa, I can do it. And I truly believe these things are given to the people that can handle it and that can pass the knowledge. And it's almost like, some people, they're kind of like gatekeepers. They have all this stuff that they can do, but they want to keep it to themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
And they don't want to share, or you say, I can help you with this, or here, I'm going to teach you and you go and do it.
Yeah.
And I think that it takes a really special person to be able to say, well, I've been through this. I'm going to use my experience to help you. I now know the tools to help you with X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to help you, and I'm going to show you if you want to go and do it. And it's just, I think you're amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. I think you're amazing too.
I do. And I'm sorry that you didn't do this when I still lived in Tenerife, because I'd be there every week.
You wouldn't need to be there every week.
No, I wouldn't.
No, it's quite different, and it is something that, like you say, it's one of those things that we try to help people. I do think that I've always probably tried to help people, but maybe probably not had the confidence to feel like I could be that person that can help people. And I mean, I don't necessarily mean that with Access Bars as well, just Access Bars, but I mean it with the teaching. I'd never sort of, like I said to you before, never felt like that person that could be, in charge of a class or something like that. I would always be that person at the back, very quiet, listening, going, oh, I'm not going to say anything. So it's definitely brought a different kind of perspective to how I never thought I was, if you see what I mean. But I suppose something just needs to click, doesn't it? And then we feel happier with it. So that's
it's amazing. So if somebody said, oh, I want to come and have a bar session, but I'm not too sure, what would you say to them? Just come and experience it with an open mind.
Yeah, definitely. If you're, like if you've had Reiki before, then obviously it's something, it's similar, but it's not. So, and a lot of people always ask me, oh, is it similar to Reiki? But like we've said before, you kind of bring the energy in, whereas I kind of release everything. So, but it's definitely, you know, all to do with that energy fields and how you can, you know, kind of control that. And if you're that sort of person that is good at controlling how the energy flows through you, then it's definitely something for you. Even if you're not that sort of person, you know, even if you're very, very close-minded, I still think you could come and be very, very happy after, you know, after a session. I mean, I've definitely had a few people that just felt like you say, they've had a good sleep. They just can't settle at night time. They feel like they've had a really relaxing sleep. And sometimes that's all we need to get through things and really, you know, start the next day well. So yeah, definitely do it. Do it.
Oh, I definitely think I think I find it hard to really truly relax. I think the most relaxed I ever feel is when I'm giving a session.
Yes.
I just feel like I could sink into it and melt away. And then in my day-to-day normal, in quote, mom life, I don't think I ever allow my body to actually relax.
Yeah.
And I
And I
felt
think
this
that's
the other
normal, isn't it?
day.
Yeah.
I was like, I sat on the sofa and I was like, wow, I'm holding a load of tension in my jaw. What am I doing that for? So I was like, I'm going to do some exercises, going to stretch it, going to pull some funny faces in the mirror to release the tension. But then, why? I think, why have I got all this tension? Because I'm not I'm not a, you know, super, what's the word I'm looking for? Tense person. So yeah, that would be nice, just to be able to come and go, oh, I feel my body just like literally going, rest now.
But I think that's true for a lot of people, not just us mums, like we said, but we do work all the time. We do, I mean, even if, you know, we do something, even if we go for a massage or do something for us, you know, it does take us a lot of time to go, oh, I don't want to take that time for myself because I should be working or I should be doing this. So definitely, even if it's not access bars or it's not Reiki, do something for you, of course, even if it's just a walk in the park or to the beach or a little bit of
I miss the
you
beach,
time.
Joe. I've never not lived by the beach until I've lived here, and now I'm the furthest away from the beach ever.
Yeah, you're right in the middle, aren't you?
I'm right in the middle, yeah. It's true though about doing stuff for yourself. I have a full body massage every month. Treat myself to full works.
Excellent.
I have a little bit of reflexology on the end because I just think, you know, if I'm in no good shape, I'll be no good looking after everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But she shouts at me, my massage therapist. She's like, could you just let go, please? And I'm like, I am. She says, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. I'm like, I am. I'm like, am I? She says, no, just let go.
I know. It's funny, isn't it? How we do these things for other people, but we can't always necessarily do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's a very good example of what we should be doing.
I often say to myself, take your own advice, Joe.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Like chatting to people at the end of a session, you know, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. And then the client leaves and I go, oh, I haven't done that for a week. Okay. Reschedule some me time, please.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's important.
Definitely. No, it is important. It is really important. And I think, it's good when we live here, we've got the good weather all the time, but we don't
rub it in.
You know, to get out and even just to get some fresh air is the best, I think.
Personally. Oh, absolutely. Oh, Joe, honestly, I wish I lived just over the road from you again. I want to come for a session.
Yes, come.
I will. Oh, well, thank you so much for talking to us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all your Facebook links on the podcast. So if people want to get in touch with you or they want to just have a chat or they want to look at your wonderful art that I can see actually behind you on the wall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Then people can go and be a little bit more nosy and see who Joe Chambers is.
Yes, go and see me. Go and find out who I am.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, my darling. And
that's okay. Lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And thank you for being super awesome.
No problem. Well, hopefully we'll, look forward to everyone listening to the podcast and of course, get in touch.
Oh, bless you, my darling. Thank you so much, Joe, and I shall speak to you soon. Oh man, what an amazing chat I've just had. I miss my old home and I certainly miss my friends. cannot wait until I can step on that plane, go and visit Joe, have some sunshine, and squeeze in a couple of Access Bars sessions while I'm there. So, once again, we have had the best chat on the Purple People, and I hope you tune in next week because we've still got lots of lovely people to talk to and lots of stories to listen to. And you never know, along the way, you might find something that you think, wow, I'd like to try that. And it helps plant a small seed to helping you change the things that you want to make better. So, from me, Joe, many blessings, and I'll speak to you all really soon.